All right, so I am in Google Sheets. You can start with any spreadsheet. You can do any spreadsheet you already have. It doesn't really matter. You can leave it untitled spreadsheet. I probably would just, call it my AI helper or something. And you come to the extensions menu and you go to Educator AI Assistant. You don't have to do the start. The start's kind of a quick start. And it gives you a notice that my prompts are in beta. I'm still working on them. So if you're like, wow, that's a really terrible rubric, although I have put some effort into the rubric. So hopefully it's not a really terrible rubric. It is not the rubric of my dreams yet, but I'm working on it. But you'll see here it says create tool list. So if you click that, it's going to insert a sheet that says tool list. And that is really essential. Because if you don't have tool list, it's not going to work. And just so long as you have tool list in any spreadsheet that you have, so you can share this a variety of ways. If you click on the little arrow on the bottom and you copy it to like a new spreadsheet or an existing spreadsheet, you can easily put that tool list in any spreadsheet you have. But I have an even easier way to do it also. Now there is a glitch, and this is not my fault. Is that there is a bug that defaults to the auto resizing of the height.
Okay.
So you see that my description for rubric is really, really detailed. And so I'm going to have to figure out something about that. So if you just click the select all box and you resize one row, they'll all resize. So it's kind of a quick workaround. It's annoying. Hopefully that bug will be fixed. So you can see that it's dropped in 8 default tools like lesson plan maker, quiz generator, rubric generator. This is the one that I put the most effort into so far. I'm going to make them all awesome. You can create a new activity builder at this point. So it's a quick and dirty, right? Make a tool list, create an activity. I need to get rid of that button actually. Okay. And then I'm going to come down here to open advanced settings, because while you can do it quick and dirty, I like to do it a few more steps. So this link right here, import tool, if you click it, a pop-up will come up. Yeah, a pop-up will come up and it will let you paste a link to somebody else's spreadsheet. So if your friend's working on it and they have a tool list the way they like it, if they just share the link with you, so long as it's not private, it'll import their tools from their list. So, and even with yourself, right? You're like, I'm going to start a new spreadsheet and you want your tools to come over. Just copy this link where you're at. And then in the new spreadsheet, import your old tool list. So easy peasy. But if you want to add more, I have a lot. You can't see it. It's not showing they have a drop-down list of a lot, but I do. When I click here on add a tool, this drop-down list that you're not seeing, I'm adding like IEP goal writer. That one's not going to be a great one. I've put no effort into that one yet, but I will. And then you can also make your own tool. So what would you like a tool to do?
I would like a really great short and dirty reflection tool that would work in almost any subject. Like what is, I want it to generate different types of reflections for me, like responses, or I guess like reflection activities or reflection statements or something like that. So I'm not trying to do a 3-2-1 every day. Like every day we do a 3-2-1. Every day we do, yeah.
Okay. I don't know what 3-2-1 is, but you'll see I just kind of described it, and I'm using Gemini AI to create a starter. It's going to show up right here. It's coming. Let's do it. Usually it's like instant. What did I do? Maybe I pushed the wrong thing. Did I break it? I literally just did this yesterday. Okay. It's freaking me out right now. It's under the extensions menu, Educator AI Assistant. I'm going to set up sidebar. It literally was working yesterday. So I know I can add a tool. Oh, there. It
just took a second.
Whew. I think, I always got to remind myself if I'm running a Google Meet or a Zoom or something, it's using up a lot of the resources of my computer. It really, honestly, when you're not running a video tool, it's like almost instant. So that was annoying. But you'll see I now have those 2 tools, plus I made another one. It's really fast and easy to just add tools. And if you don't like a tool, you're like, I'm not using project schedule generator, which you'll notice updates Google Calendar. This one updates Google Sheets, Google Forms. I also have ones that update Google Tasks, like all the things. If you just don't like it, you can just literally just delete it. You know, like, I don't want any of these. Delete them.
Okay.
Your own, 100% customizable. I do recommend that if you customize the prompt here in column B and C, that you change the name so that, because if it updates, like if I were to go through and I'm like, I'm going to make this lesson plan generator better, my update tool that you saw on the quick start, what it'll do is it'll override ones that have the same name as my lesson.
Okay.
So if you make some changes and you don't want it to be overridden when you update, just make sure that you've changed the name. Just can't match 100%.
Yeah, Tana's lesson.
Yeah, exactly. You should personalize it. And what you could do is just make a whole list of tools, are not necessarily the ones that you use, because I bet you would use some other ones besides the one you make, but you make a library that's shareable. And literally all you have to do is share the link to the spreadsheet. So when you paste that link in for the import, it just looks for a tab named tool list. So it doesn't matter what spreadsheet you have, so long as there's a tab named tool list, it's going to import the tools off the tool list. And then when it imports, it looks for ones with the same name and it won't duplicate it. So if there's one with the same name, it will not import it. It will only import the unique ones.
That's cool.
So that's cool. So now I can insert an activity template. Where you're going to find this in your Google Drive. It's in this spreadsheet. It's not hidden anywhere. It makes tabs at the bottom. You were doing irony or no? It was
Idioms.
Idioms. Okay. So I would probably rename the tab like idiom lesson or whatever.
Okay.
You don't have to rename the tab. Everything in column A is customizable. Actually, the whole thing is customizable. So I have some suggested inputs like title, topic, subject area. You can ignore them. You can delete them. If you don't put anything, it ignores it. So you're like, so I'm going to, it's ELA. The topic is idioms. I really would have a topic. On that one, I probably would include on all of them, but maybe, whatever. I was demonstrating this to my friend last time, and I put it in the style of Carrot Top. So you'll see what I did is I just added my own, right? I have this input I want in the style of Carrot Top. It will ignore right now. It's going to ignore duration. It's going to ignore standard. It's going to ignore audience. It's going to ignore all of those, although I'm going to put 8th grade. If you don't answer it, it ignores it. So it's like it's not even there. So you can make as many as you want, and then you can start them and like not do them. Doesn't matter. And then you have a quick tools palette, right? So you're like, okay, so what are you going to do now with this information? So whatever's in column A and column B that you answered, it's going to use that in these tools. So your first thing is just like, what information do I want to know? And you build it however you want. So let's go ahead and just do a lesson plan. Now, again, if these outputs aren't great, please let me know. I'm working on the prompts.
Okay.
I know they're not great, but got to start somewhere.
This is like when I do AI and like new tools that come out that, there's some people that have been in the game for, 2 years, and there's some people that have been in the game 3 months. This is the worst it's going to be right now.
Yeah. And I've already made a lot of improvements. So it's going to get there. And again, this is running slower than normal because
angry parent responder.
Now, what mine does allow you to do is to choose your model. So my default model is 2.0 Flash Lite because it's faster and cheaper. It's cheaper and faster. You can change it to 2.5 Pro if you want, but it will take 5 times as long to generate. So this little thing is going to spin 5 times as long if you want to use a bigger prompt or, a higher model. But you can. I've hidden it though. No surprise, because it costs me more money.
Right.
Change the model. To be honest with you, it's not a lot more money. So if you on the quick start at the way bottom of the quick start. I mean, it's buried. I have a drop down list for which model you want to use. All right, come on. I'm going to go to Google Drive. See if it's making it in there. Recent. What is going on? I feel like I'm in Bizarro World today. This really doesn't take that long. Oh, I can see it. Now it's working. So you'll notice it now has a tab called Document List because you're going to have the history of all of your activities listed here. I know in some other popular tool, the free version only gives you a limited history, like you can only go back so many of them. It's your lessons. This is something that drives me crazy is you use someone's product and they own your data. And if you stop using them, you can't get access to your stuff anymore.
Right.
Like I had an accounting type software, right? And so all year long, I'm tracking all my bills and it was pricey. And at the end of the year, the last 2 weeks, I said, I'm not renewing for the next year. And they cut me off at that minute. So I didn't have access to all of my records that I needed for my taxes. I'm like, exactly what did I pay for? So first of all, right now, this is completely free, 100%. I will do a freemium model, but it'll be really cheap. And you have it in your Google Drive. It's your data. I can't read it. I don't look at it. I can't take it away from you. It's yours forever.
Nice.
The other thing is that in column C here, this is the prompt I used.
Right.
So you can even take this and copy and paste it. You're like, well, I don't want to use Gemini. I want to use ChatGPT. I want to use Claude. Copy and paste the prompt. So
that's nice because a lot of times that prompt is a little lost on some
not
tools.
a little lost. It's completely lost because that's what they're selling you. So
right. They're selling. Yeah.
They're proprietary prompts. That's garbage. We should work together, help each other make better prompts. So that's what I have here. So remember, this is in the style of Carrot Top. Here's a lesson plan on idioms. Don't take them literally. So as the objectives, the materials, a script for you to say in Carrot Top style. It made it.
That's funny.
So it says return to idiom. So it read the tab that I was on because now I'm going to come back and like, okay, well, I have a lesson plan. I'm going to yes and this. I'm going to copy this lesson plan.
Okay.
And the reason I'm going to do that is because column C lets me put links to Google Docs. So it's going to read anything in column A, anything in column B. It's going to read the prompt that I choose from the tool list, and it'll read any links to Google Docs that I put in column C. So I can take that lesson plan, put it there. So now I'm going to tell it to make me a rubric, but it's going to know what the lesson was that it's connected to. Oh, shoot. Sorry. I'm going to just come back to that. Quick Tools palette. Even though I accidentally inserted a new template, it doesn't matter. I didn't lose anything. Everything's saved on that tab. So as long as I go back to the idioms tab, now I'm going to make a quiz. And this is going to export into Google Forms. Like everything exports to Google. So you don't spend your time. It's going to export to a Google Doc. It's going to export to Forms. It's going to export to Sheets. It's going to export to Calendar, Gmail, Classroom, all these kinds of things. Tasks. I'm really into Google Tasks right now. I love tasks.google.com. And again, it is faster when we're not on a Zoom.
Right.
It's probably slower on your school internet. Just saying.
We have actually the fastest internet in the state.
Just making a joke.
I just redid that. Although one time, like at the beginning of the year when they were trying to pass out computers where it has to download everything for the computers to write, we have like 3 servers and it was bouncing. So it would stay at this one for like 40, and it was our internet provider, it wasn't us. So it would stop and then bounce. Everything would bounce to the new one and last like 45 seconds and then it would bounce. And so every 45 seconds it was bouncing for like 3 hours. As high school teachers were, as our high school site technology specialists were trying to pass out one-to-one devices, which means starting them up and getting all the downloads that you need. So
isn't working in a school fun?
It was the second day that I had hiccuped. First day was on us. Second day was Cox.
So what you see here is this is not a great quiz. I mean, it just says short answer, DOK2. So like I said, I've put 0 effort into fixing the prompt on Make a Quiz. So I'll do better at that. I put most of my effort behind the rubric. So I'm going to cross my fingers. I don't have a lot of faith here because I didn't give it a lot of information, and I told it to make it in the style of Carrot Top.
Right. So the more information we give it and see, the better the output, which is like anything that they're only spitting out what we spit into it.
Exactly.
Right. Like
so garbage in, garbage out. So if you're like, give me a lesson plan on idioms, well, you're going to get what you get. So the more information, and you basically make your own form. Like, you should know this, you should know this, you should know this. Just put it all in there. But what's nice is because it saves it, right? I don't have to type it twice. But while I wanted my lesson plan to be in the form of Carrot Top, I did not want my quiz to be in the form of Carrot Top. So that's probably what my mistake was. So I've now deleted that because I can. It's a spreadsheet. I'm going to go back to the Quick Tools palette. I don't want my rubric to be in the form of Carrot Top. So that is probably one of the downsides, is that some of the information is good for one tool, but it's not great for another tool. So you do want to kind of take into consideration when you push that button, it's reading the whole thing. It's not like, oh, this isn't really great for a quiz. No, it's going to use it, as it did. It made my quiz about Carrot Top when my quiz was really about idioms. So let's see how this rubric ends up going. But you can also duplicate the tab, right? It's a spreadsheet. So if you duplicate it and then you want to delete some of it without having to delete all of it, you can do that.
Yeah.
Come on. Let's go into space and back, It's not as long as it feels like when you're showing somebody on a Google Meet video call.
Right.
There it goes. Now look how long this prompt is in column C. Because remember, it read the Google Doc. So it read my lesson plan. So my prompt is a lot meatier. So that's where I just resize them. For now, it's annoying me. I'm trying to think of how I can do. I know some workarounds. I know it's a bug. Like, at some point it'll get fixed, right? Okay, so I've got the rubric. I'm just going to set a little bit of formatting. And so I've got interpretation of an idiom meaning, contextual application, narrative, story development, and creativity. And see, my prompt specifically says don't use exceed. So I'm going to have to keep pounding away at that prompt. It's a lot of work, but I'm working on it. It's going to get there, but at least gives you something to get started with for sure. So I've got the 4 levels, and I'm going to come back here, go back to my idioms lesson, and same problem, right? It inserted the prompt onto here, and it made it super long. So I'm going to have to resize 21. Okay. I'm going to put in number of rubric. Oh, excuse me. It's on here. I'm going to say that I want 6 rubric levels. So I'm going to try it one more time. And again, I don't have good information here. Garbage in, garbage out. So if you what I have in column A and column B is very little to go on. So,
but like they drill into our head, like you plan your lessons according to what the outcome is. So you really could just go through thinking through all those outcomes that you want kids to do and just plop them into
absolutely
B. And that would generate more details if you're, planning for that end.
Yep. All right. Hopefully this rubric's a little bit better, but I mean, it wasn't horrible. My main criticism of the rubric was that it says exceeds, which I'm an anti-exceeds. Some people, that's their thing. And you can write the prompt however you want. So what I would have done is I would have gone back over here to the tool list, and here in column C for where the prompt is, I would specify do not use exceeds. Like, if you don't like the output, just come back to the tool list and fix your prompt.
Okay.
If you want to. Okay, so I'm going to return here. Just going to resize. Come on. Resize them. Come on, let's go. And, Did it make it and I wasn't paying attention? Yep, that's what happened. So you now see it has more columns because I added one that said I wanted more criteria columns. So it does. It reads it. I'm not going to, the rest of that's irrelevant.
You just changed exceeds to virtuoso.
Great.
Wonder if we just put like the top level of a rubric would be just
proof
pet.
that AI is not smarter than us. Now, my other choice is I can do this a little bit slower because you have the quick tools palette. And it's all that's doing is reading column A from your tools list. So whatever's on your tool list is what's on your quick tools palette.
Okay.
So you can do this slower where I can pick it from this drop-down list. And this is, again, from my quick tools palette. And when I add the tool to the sheet,
I have to add it to the tool list tab.
Let me import it to the document. Huh. Oh, right. I'm on the wrong sheet. Forgot. You have to be on your lesson sheet. Now I'm going to do it. What happens when I do the quick tools palette? It actually lists all the tools here. And it puts I guess it didn't. It did. Now it stopped doing it. It puts the tool there. And the reason is it copy and paste the tool off the tool list onto here so that if you're like, well, I don't want to like permanently edit it, but I want to edit it for this lesson.
Gotcha. Okay.
So this a lot, because again, I want to be totally flexible without messing you up. So if you edit it here, it only edits it for this lesson. And then you can click generate selected. So those are all check boxes. It'll only do one, so don't check 5 of them. Says that it's generating. So I can't wait to see what this says since I didn't fill in what did the parent say? How do I feel about it? I do have some default prompts on there of what's the parent's name, the parent's email, the student's name, the issue being addressed. What does the parent's email say? And what do you want to say? But I have the prompt designed as, and this is not the interface I want. I'm going to fix it. I have it designed as teacher gives their true feelings. Don't reveal their true feelings. Respond with a diplomatic response. And don't suggest a meeting. That's what that prompt says. So let's see what it says. I could send this straight to Gmail, but I don't really like that. We'll see. I could. Thank you for your email. I appreciate you bringing this to attention. Your primary objective, be assured that beneath the lively presentation, the unit is carefully structured to meet clear learning objectives. I am dedicated to academic growth and success, and the strategies used in this unit. Look how diplomatic it is.
It is. So even with no issue and no email, it's still like spewing out all the.
Yeah. It's that one. I have I'm not gonna say a good prompt. It's not a good prompt. It's a better prompt. Put a little bit of effort into that one. I was having fun with this one because we all have this, right? I love hearing from parents, but we all have somebody who tells you something like, "My kid never lies." Like, where do you even start with that? Are you really that delusional to think that your child is the only one who never lies? Okay. And I would say that tact is my worst quality. You know, I'm a math person. So I will take all the help I can get with some tact, saying it professionally, obviously reiterating what I really mean is I am here for your child, which is true.
Yeah.
Which is true. Am I here for grumpy parent? Sometimes I am. You know, parents are great. Just so you know, I am that parent. I am that parent.
Oh, me too. Me too.
I'm completely that guy. So when we were talking about difficult parents, make sure you understand I'm pointing a finger at myself. So again, this is in your Google Drive. It's easy to find. It's completely customizable. I can share this. So I could either just share this spreadsheet with you, Tana, or you could just take a copy of it, you know, if I shared it out. And, you know, the sheet tabs at the bottom all have the information on it. So what I would do over the summer is if I had a team of people who are paid over the summer to create, you know, TOSAs or whatever.
Okay.
they could sit down and make a bunch of prompts that are really specific for the teachers they work with, right? And you have my default prompts as a starter, but as you tried it, you're like, yeah, but that's not really how our district does it. Go, Alice, I get that you don't like to put numbers on rubrics, but we do. That's why our district does it. We put numbers on it, even though you don't, Alice. So then you go through and you edit it so it's the way your district policies reflect.
Okay.
And then all you have to do literally is just copy the link and email it out to all the teachers so that they can put it in there, add it to their when they already have, or just make a copy of it.
So if we all are just like any other Google Doc, can we all collaborate on this one document too?
It is 100% a spreadsheet.
So when I hit the generate, it's going to put it in my drive, but it'll put that information back there. Would they have access to that?
It doesn't put it in your drive. Oh, I see what you're saying. The document.
The document, like when it opens up that lesson plan.
Intentionally, it does not save to a folder. And the reason why intentionally it doesn't save to a folder is because the permissions to allow you to save to a folder are really, really scary. And IT people don't like to approve Drive app. So to make it more friendly to approve, it free floats in your Google Drive. So if you do create things, I would drag it into a collaborative folder.
Okay. But okay, that fixes that. But if they're on this document and they have editing rights, do they also get editing rights to what it's creating? No. If I create it? Okay. That was my question. I didn't think so because it doesn't work that way.
So I'm taking a suggestion. I could pull who the document is shared with, and I could share the documents with whoever it's shared with. However, I don't know if you want that.
Right. So yeah.
I mean,
pros and cons both ways.
Fix is you create one folder in Google Drive, you share it with your team, and anything that's created that you want to share, you drag it into that folder.
And then the permissions, because that folder has the permissions.
Yeah.
I didn't think so because there's not really anything that is created like that gives dual permissions when it is sent there.
I could. I'd have to hear from a lot of people that they want that. I'm positive every single person will want it in a folder. I hear you. Me too. That one's a no. You're just not going to get it because I'd have to use Drive app, which is a scope of permissions that is just too scary for IT people to approve. So if I want to get it approved, it's better to not have it. Some people will, but a lot won't. So I won't do it.
Yeah. Oh, no, I wasn't so much worried about the folder situation. I was worried about, so I did, the generate activity and it made the document under my account. It's going to put it in my drive, but then it links back on the sheet and you have editing rights and we're all collabing. I need to make sure that I go set whatever document it creates in my drive.
Yeah.
Either I'm going to add the same people to those so then they do have that link, or I'm going to do
I'm going to write this down. Where do I have a pen? Because I think a way that I could solve that is, you're clicked here on, I'm here in this row.
Mm-hmm.
I could have a button that says share with collaborators. So you could selectively do it really quick. Sharing is easy. Folders are also easy, but scary. So I'm not doing it. It just gives you warnings that you don't want. Okay, so share with collaborators. And the other thing is I wanted to require a tool list. Okay, those two things are pretty easy for me to add for next upgrade features. Anything else you want, Tana?
No, I'm going to play with it.
So the worst of it is when it drops the prompt in there that it makes the columns super tall. And like I said, that's a bug that I have no control over, although I did report it. So just be aware of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you suggest a sheet for every
unit
idea that I want to generate? Or so if I'm doing idioms, I'm going to do everything on idioms in this. Yeah. Should I do another tab?
Yeah.
Or should I do another sheet? So I'm on chapter 2 now, I'm on chapter unit now. What would be the best flow, do you think?
So my initial thought, and obviously I just made it this month.
Right.
I don't have my best case scenarios on there. But my general thought is when it gets clogged up, like I've got so many things on the document list and I got a lot of tabs, which you can hide the tabs, but I got a lot of tabs. Maybe at some point I want to like just a fresh sheet. And so I'll import my tools into a fresh sheet. And I probably would do it by clicking on the tool list tiny triangle. Just copying it to a new spreadsheet would be the fastest way to do it.
Okay.
There's other ways to do it, but that would be the fastest way to do it. And then it's, as long as you have the tool list, you can make the activities just keep on going.
No,
I would do it by unit.
Okay, and remind me again, if I do the things of sharing the URL inside this one, it brings in everything, right? So it just is going to take all my clutter and bring it over to the sheet. So
I'm copying this link up here. Then in the chat, I'm just pasting the link to my spreadsheet. That's all I did.
Right.
So then what you're going to do is you're going to start a new spreadsheet. So sheets.new and go to extensions, Educator AI Assistant. I got to let it load. Educator AI, come on. Got to be patient. It gets really grumpy when you try to do it too fast. Okay. One more time. There it is. And I'm going to go to the setup sidebar.
Oh, I'm like, I don't see it. I'm crazy. I'm on my wrong Google account. Hang on.
Okay. The setup sidebar has a button that's our link that says import tool list.
But that brings over everything, right?
It brings over the whole tool list minus duplicates.
Does it bring all my stuff with it too?
No,
or just the tools.
Just the tool list.
Okay, so it does the same thing as the little caret next to the tool list, start a new sheet.
Yep, exactly.
But what the advantage?
No, it does not. Okay, so if I do it, a little caret, if I do the little drop down arrow, copy it to a new sheet, then it just takes your tools and lets you start fresh in a new sheet. Just like this spreadsheet's getting out of control.
The other one I can bring into any spreadsheet that I've already started. Is that the only difference?
Have one started.
Okay.
I can append new tools recommended by a friend. Yeah.
Okay. I was just worried that it was going to bring all the gunk with it too, you know, like that document and everything if I bring it in, but that would like.
The whole point is this. I mean, really what this tool is prompt sharing. It allows us to collaborate, democratize prompts, and not have proprietary prompts behind a button. But when you're in one of these other tools and you push the button, what's it doing?
I know that's what I've trained on. Like
it's not magic.
When I train,
what you're asking it. I feel very strongly about that.
Yeah. When I when I train on one of the ones that's already out there, and I said, but I always train on, Copilot or ChatGPT or whatever first. And I'm like, okay, what do we want it to do? What do you want from it? What's your outcome and all that? Because we do the thing of, imagine you're making dinner. Who's there? What are they allergic to? What accommodations do they need? What don't they like? What do you like? How many meals do you want? Like, and then we match it to what materials do you have in your classroom? What, like that. I said, all those questionings that you're answering when you're writing yourself, all those pre-made tools, that's just what they're doing with the drop downs.
But what you're going to see though, to be fair, I have prompts here and they're crap. Some of them are crap. Some of them are okay. None of them are amazing yet. So, I mean, the amount of time it takes to write a really, really good prompt, I understand why teachers want to have push a button. I mean, that's why I have this. So the yes and on that is, we should be able to push a button, but you should know what that button does. And you should be able to like customize it for yourself. So that's and then when someone else, like, I don't know, your department chair or the tech coach puts all this effort in, we don't need to all recreate the wheel. Share. I mean, I can literally tweet this out on, Twitter or whatever social media. Like, here's my tool list. Enjoy.
Yeah. It's the same thing. Like when I, in the old days when I was teaching other stuff and I didn't know how to make anything. So I went and borrowed other things people made.
Yeah.
And it was like good. And then like, okay, so then I learned a few skills to edit it and modify it to what I needed. And then it was just faster for me to write it myself once I learned, but it gave me that scaffolding. Whereas some people, they need the drop downs because I don't know what I don't know. But man, this tool, I just want to be able to tweak it. And yours allow tweak the tool without starting just from scratch. And so that's what's cool. Yeah. I didn't click on the tool list tab. I missed that part altogether. And I was just bringing in activities.
And that's super helpful to know because, you know, when you're designing something and you've tested it and you've tested it and you tested, I mean, if I have pushed this button less than 100 times, I'd be shocked. You have memorized the flow, right? So when it's in front of someone's fresh eyes, who's not you, what do they click on? And so that, you know, the next.
Yeah, so I was trying to get a drop down list.
And then design around, what's it called? Well-worn paths. If people are going to do this, then you design in the direction that they want to go.
Because I was trying to get I thought there was a drop-down list in column D that I was supposed to try to get. And so then I kept like just circling. I'm like, there's no drop-down. What am I? So.
Yeah. Well, definitely, especially as you're kind of sharing with people who, like my husband's not very techie. So next, after I show you this, I'm going to go make him try it. He hasn't tried it yet. It's a brand new tool. He's not techie. So seeing what he thinks is intuitive or not, and not talking to him. So I was working on a doctorate. I dropped out, so let's not talk about that. But in games and simulation, for education, ed tech with an emphasis in games and simulation. And one of the things that I learned in some of the classes I was taking around game design is you don't get to stand over someone's shoulder when they play the game. You know, you can't explain it to them. You have to design the interface in a way, hopefully, that they just get it and they don't need your help. I get quite annoyed when I use, you know, like Power School or whatever, and I'm like, I can't figure this out. Like, and you're designing it for teachers? We're busy. Yeah. We're busy. We are literally not given minutes to figure this out. Can you just make a better interface?
Yeah, well, and then trying to predict the manner somebody's going to attack something.
Mm-hmm.
That is, okay, so if I do this and I do it this, and so to where we can now monitor their laptops, you know, with a little bit of control and tool and not a policing tool. And there was a bunch of people and we're like, okay, what if the kid tries this? Well, let's do this. What if the kid, like, we're trying to predict all the workarounds that the kids are going to try to do to see if the system works.
People are going to approach it.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun to watch people, you make something and see like them do something. You're like, I wouldn't have thought of doing that because they're not you. I'm going to stop the recording.